Big changes are coming for Jamaicans and Spaniards looking to travel to the U.S. A brand new 30-day U.S. visa rule is about to shake up the travel plans for many, and it's all part of a major crackdown by Trump's Department of Homeland Security DHS. If you thought getting a U.S. visa was already complicated, this new rule is set to make things even more intense. But don't worry, we're here to break it all down for you. This 30-day rule is a game changer, and it's causing a lot of confusion and concern among travelers. What does it mean for you? Well, the new regulation will affect how and when you can apply for your U.S. visa, especially for those traveling from Jamaica and Spain. Whether you're planning a vacation, business trip, or family visit, this rule could delay your plans or force you to jump through more hoops than before. The U.S. government has stated that it's all about tightening border security and reducing overstays. But what does this mean for you on a practical level? In today's video, we'll dive into the details of this 30-day visa rule, explaining what exactly is changing, who's impacted, and how you can prepare to avoid any travel disruptions. If you've been planning to visit the U.S. from Jamaica or Spain, it's crucial to understand these new regulations so you don't get caught off guard. We'll also give you insider tips on how to navigate the visa process more smoothly in the wake of this crackdown. So, if you want to stay ahead of the curve and make sure your U.S. visa application isn't affected by these changes, make sure to watch till the end. This is vital information that could save you time and frustration. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates on this and other important travel news. Your support helps us keep bringing you essential info to navigate today's changing world. If you're planning to visit the United States from Jamaica or Spain, you might have already heard about the major changes coming to the U.S. visa process. The new 30-day rule that has been introduced by the Department of Homeland Security DHS under former President Trump's administration has raised many eyebrows, particularly for Jamaicans and Spaniards who frequently travel to the U.S. Whether you're looking to visit family, vacation, or conduct business. This new rule is bound to impact your travel plans, and it's crucial to understand exactly how it works. So, what exactly does this new 30-day visa rule mean? Well, it's not as simple as it sounds. In the past, the U.S. visa process required individuals to apply for a visa well in advance of their travel date and go through the usual screening process. This involved submitting documents, going to interviews, and waiting for approval. However, the new regulation requires individuals from certain countries, including Jamaica and Spain, to submit their visa applications at least 30 days prior to their intended departure date. This is an effort to tighten the screening process and reduce overstays, which has been a growing concern for the U.S. government. Now, you might be wondering, why specifically Jamaica and Spain? The U.S. government's crackdown on these countries has a lot to do with national security and concerns over visa violations. In recent years, the U.S. has experienced an increase in the number of people overstaying their visas or misusing the system, particularly from countries with a higher volume of visitors. By imposing this 30-day rule, the U.S. hopes to ensure that applicants have enough time for thorough vetting and that they are less likely to overstay their visas. While this change was initially introduced under the Trump administration, it's essential to note that the Biden administration has continued many of these policies, emphasizing border security. But what does this mean for travelers from Jamaica and Spain? Well, this new rule can have some significant implications. For one, it may cause delays in your travel plans. If you've been used to applying for your U.S. visa and receiving approval in a shorter time frame, the new 30-day rule will force you to plan much further ahead. With this rule in place, the U.S. government is giving itself a longer window to process visa applications, conduct security checks, and ensure that you meet all the necessary requirements before granting approval. For many travelers, this can be a frustrating shift, as it means they will need to make sure their travel plans are finalized much earlier than usual. One of the most pressing concerns that many travelers have is how this new rule will impact the application process. If you're planning to apply for a visa, it's important to be proactive. The longer processing times are likely to affect the overall timeline for approval. It means you'll have to allow more time for everything, from gathering documents to waiting for interviews to receiving approval. While the U.S. government has streamlined many aspects of the visa process, this new rule could cause some bumps along the way, and it's crucial to stay ahead of the game. Additionally, if you're planning to visit the U.S. for business purposes, you'll want to be particularly mindful of this rule. Business travelers often need to make arrangements quickly, whether it's attending conferences, meetings, or other work-related events. With the new 30-day visa requirement, it will become increasingly difficult to make last-minute plans. This could significantly impact business relationships and partnerships, especially for those who rely on timely travel to meet clients, partners, or colleagues in the U.S. If your visa application is delayed due to the new rule, it could result in missed opportunities or rescheduled meetings, which could affect your professional reputation. Another factor to consider is the financial impact of these changes. Let's be honest, visa applications are not cheap, especially if you're traveling with family or for a long-term stay. The 30-day rule means that travelers will need to budget for additional expenses related to the visa process, from application fees to travel costs. The financial burden could increase for those who weren't initially prepared to make arrangements so far in advance. For individuals who are already stretching their budgets, the added time and cost of securing a visa may make the process seem daunting. So, how can you prepare for this new rule? Well, the first step is to start planning early. You'll need to start your visa application process at least 30 days before you plan to travel to the U.S. This may require some changes in how you approach your travel planning overall. For example, you'll need to make sure your travel dates are confirmed well in advance to avoid any last-minute stress. It's also a good idea to start gathering the necessary documents as early as possible. Be sure you have everything ready before you apply for your visa to avoid delays in your approval process. While this 30-day rule might seem like an inconvenience, it's important to remember that it is designed with a purpose in mind: to make the visa process safer and more secure for both travelers and the U.S. government. The U.S. government is attempting to ensure that anyone applying for a visa has been thoroughly vetted and that their stay in the country is legitimate. While this may cause delays, it's ultimately about reducing fraud and making the process more transparent. The goal is to protect both visitors and residents, which is something we should all support. Another aspect of this new rule that's worth mentioning is how it impacts the overall relationship between the U.S. and countries like Jamaica and Spain. While this rule may initially seem like a crackdown on travelers, it's part of a broader effort to improve diplomatic relations and ensure that the U.S. remains a safe and welcoming place for tourists, business travelers, and immigrants. It's clear that the U.S. government wants to maintain a strong connection with countries around the world while also ensuring that its visa system is effective and secure. One of the positive aspects of this new rule is that it encourages travelers to take more responsibility in their travel plans. By requiring a 30-day notice, individuals are encouraged to be more proactive and organized in their approach to travel. This change also forces the visa application process to be more transparent, as applicants are required to submit their documents earlier and more thoroughly. In the long run, this will likely lead to fewer errors and more consistent processing times for everyone involved. Still, it's important to recognize that for some, the 30-day rule will feel like an additional layer of bureaucracy. It's a hurdle that many travelers will need to jump over, but with the right preparation, you can make the process smoother. Staying informed about the rule changes, giving yourself ample time to apply, and working with a trusted travel agent or legal advisor will all help ensure that you can still get to the U.S. without too much hassle. You'll also want to keep an eye out for any further changes or updates regarding the rule, as the situation may evolve and additional information might come to light. For those of you who have been planning to visit the U.S. from Jamaica or Spain, it's essential to stay ahead of these changes. The best way to avoid surprises is to be well prepared and to give yourself plenty of time to navigate the visa application process. By understanding the new 30-day rule and adjusting your plans accordingly, you can ensure that your travel experience remains smooth and successful. The key takeaway here is that the new U.S. visa rule for Jamaicans and Spaniards is designed to make the visa process safer, more organized, and more secure. While it might cause some delays and inconveniences, it's ultimately an effort to streamline the process and make travel more manageable for everyone. By staying informed, being proactive, and planning ahead, you can avoid any unnecessary stress and ensure that you get your visa on time. So, as this new rule comes into play, make sure you're prepared for the changes. If you're a traveler from Jamaica or Spain, mark those calendars and start your application process as early as possible. It's going to be a bit of a shift, but with the right planning and mindset, you'll be able to navigate it successfully. If this video helped you understand the new US visa rule and how it affects you, make sure to hit the like button and share it with anyone who might need this information. Don't forget to subscribe for more updates on travel news, visa changes, and everything you need to know to keep your trips on track. Thanks for watching and stay informed.